Jumping back into the Fave 41, we'll just call this edition the Superhero Edition. Welcome back to the second in a series of 4 videos detailing my favorite 41 movies of the past year, 2017. Why 41? Because I said so. That's why I'm a parent. I'm allowed to use that phrase. We're going to go from number 30 to number 21 in this video. 30 to 21, and yeah, lots of superheroes are going to be involved. Right off the bat, let's talk Logan in at number 30. And I know, you think that's way too low. I get it, you loved Logan. It's incredible, Wolverine being Wolverine. I agree with all of that. Again, there are just 29 movies that I enjoyed more. I had some problems with Logan that some people didn't have, but they're very minor problems. And overall, it's incredible to see Wolverine act in more of an authentic Wolverine way. Now, that's just somebody who's not a comic reader. So that's just somebody who's just observant of what a character who has been through what he's been through and has claws of adamantium that come out of his knuckles, how he would fight, how realistic that would be and hasn't been in the previous movies. And to see it was visceral. And I think that's why this movie has meant so much to people. Also, it's really beautiful. It's a fond farewell kind of movie for Hugh Jackman in this character. So all that comes together to make a great experience, and I think certainly worthy of being in my top 30. And we're on to number 29, and yep, we're still doing superheroes. I promise there are actually a few non-superhero movies in this batch. Lego Batman, so much fun. The first 15 minutes of Lego Batman is the most perfect opening to an animated film I've seen since Up. Now, they're very different, right? Like, Lego Batman is all energy and jokes and craziness, but it's insanely good. And Up is, you know, sadness and wanting and tears. So they're very different, but to begin a movie that way is always a little risky because you can't live up to it for the rest of the film. But it still does a really good job of living up to it. At the end of the day, like, that character is one that I kind of didn't want to change, so the story allowing him to change, almost I was rooting against it, but still a lot of fun. Love Will Arnett as Batman. He's such a great character. Can't wait to see what they do further on with that character in the Lego movies. Had a really great time with Lego Batman. Yes, and at number 28, not a superhero, but a super pig. It's OKTA! I think OKTA's sitting right over there. OKTA was a big surprise for me. Netflix film about this, genetically developed and manufactured type of creature for its meat. A hippo pig, a super pig, whatever you want to call it. And this little girl's relationship with this creature they were given to raise and what she finds out that's going on behind the scenes of this corporation. This is a movie that's on its own wavelength. It is definitely weird. Jake Gyllenhaal giving a very strange but awesome, in my opinion, performance here. This is one that shocked me how much I loved it, and also probably will shock others at how strange it is, but it's got such a beautiful heart, I'd highly recommend checking out OKTA. On to number 27, let's get a little Sorkin in our lives. Talk a little bit about Molly's Game. I was born to love this movie. Aaron Sorkin is possibly my favorite content writer ever. The stuff he's done is absolutely incredible. I love the sharpness and the quickness of his dialogue. It's all here. He is a little bit full of himself in the director's chair. That's probably a little too harsh. You can just tell that he's not going to cut his words like another director might cut his words. That's the only real flaw in this movie. Chastain gives a great performance. Idris Elba gives a great performance. Plus, it's poker. I love poker. I love Sorkin. I love Chastain. So obviously I'm going to love this movie, and I think you might too. Back to the superheroes at number 26. Let's talk about SpiderMan Homecoming. This is a lot of people's favorite superhero movie of the year. It is not my favorite superhero movie of the year. However, it is one of them. It's just so much fun. And the idea to have Spider-Man back where he belongs in high school and to believe he's a high schooler, to have this performance, which is so perfectly Tom Holland, so perfectly Spider-Man and his character, to have just the joy and the fun of his best buddy, his best friends, the surprises that come, the things that happen. I didn't even mind the stuff with Iron Man in this movie. I think Marvel did a great job bringing Spidey into the Marvel universe. It gives me faith about what they might do with some of the Fox characters. And it gets me excited about how the X-Men might be integrated in, because I think they do a really great job here. And Spider-Man Homecoming is a really fun movie. In at number 25, Little Tailor, Sheridan, Wind River. Now, I didn't like it quite as much as Hell or High Water. That made my top 10 last year. But it's still a really good story and a good film. It's beautiful and engaging and emotional. There's a real substance to what's going on here, so it holds you in that way. Great performances. Jeremy Renner is fantastic. Elizabeth Olsen is super good in this. And more than that, it's a story that's willing to kind of go to places that other stories don't go. Now, I don't want to give anything away and go into specifics, but because the movie does that, it sticks with you. I also love what this movie means about the indigenous people of America. I think we need to continue to take a look at our relationship to those people who were here before us and to continue to reassess that, and I think this movie does it well. In at 24, we're back to the superheroes. Poirot's a superhero, right? Murder on the Orient Express. This is a surprise. In my top 25, Murder on the Orient Express. I really liked it. I think Branagh is perfect as Poirot. I think this character is a revelation to me. I did not realize how much I was going to love this detective and fall in love with him. There's a scene where he and Johnny Depp are talking in this movie that is so mind-blowingly good to me. I could watch it over and over and over again. I love the ins and outs of the Agatha Christie mind twist that's happening here. I'm very excited that this movie did well enough that they're making more, because I love Poirot and I want to see more, and this movie really surprised me. Moving on to number 23, let's go with Logan Lucky. And despite Logan being in the title, no, it's not another Wolverine movie. This is the Soderbergh film with Channing Tatum, Deep South, Ocean's 11. In fact, they called it Ocean's 7-11 in the movie, and I think that's a perfect way kind of to look at it. Adam Driver is so good in this movie. He alone probably puts it all the way up at number 23, although the rest of the cast is fun too. I had a blast with it. I will say this was originally ranked higher for me. You know, I was talking about leapfrogging, and I'm not going to go into all those details about how things have changed over the last 4 or 5 weeks. Logan Lucky's dropped a little bit because I rewatched it, and I think a lot of the jokes that I loved the first time through don't necessarily have the same oomph. You know, they're very specifically pop culture based in a way that I think steals some of kind of the second viewing humor from them. And so I was able to see a little bit more of the flaws in the movie. Still, it's really fun. It's a great heist movie. I enjoy it. Check out Logan Lucky. On to number 22. Oh boy, here it is. It's Mother! Exclamation point. Aronofsky, you blew my mind. I know there's a lot of, not even backlash to this movie, it's more like just like pure hatred of this film because of how crazy and out there it is. Look, if you're going to do pure metaphor work, right? If you're not going to worry about a story that hangs together on the surface because you're so invested in the metaphor, it better be a very interesting and engaging metaphor. And for me, this was in such an interesting film in that when I came out of it, I was sure I knew exactly what he was talking about, what the symbolism was and what the metaphor was. And then I realized there were others who were just as sure it was about something completely different. And you know why? Because it was. Somehow it was like a holy trinity of metaphors. It was about all three things. It was about creation and God and spiritualism, and it was about environmentalism, and it was also about the creative process, which is the one that kind of appealed to me the most. I was blown away by how deep and intricate that symbolism and metaphor was able to be, and that's why I've got this one up so high. And finishing out this video in at number 21, yeah, we'll continue the superhero theme. It's Wonder Woman. Maybe some would have this higher. I think there are a lot of flaws in this movie, but the pluses of this movie are enough to elevate it into my top 21, I guess. First of all, Gal Gadot is incredible. I love her. We'll just leave it at that. She's so phenomenal in this. I love what Patty Jenkins has done with the interesting nuance of her naivete combined with her strength and power. It's not something you get to see in a lot of superheroes. There was a little bit of that in the first Captain America, which is one of the reasons I love it so much. The idea of somebody who is supremely powerful and strong, but also a pure optimist in almost a faulty way. Is really interesting, and yet they stand fast in their optimism, which really appeals to me. So all of that stuff is the reason that Wonder Woman really succeeded for me and is one of my favorite movies of the year. Well, there you go, video number 2. We'll get on to number 20 through number 11 in the next video. So I'm excited about that. We're getting closer to the finish, by the way. Feel free to comment. Let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear what you have to say about any of these movies. Hit me up on Twitter. Speak at me there. Aaron Dicer, AARONDICER. Listen to the podcast at SiftPop, SiftPop. Or subscribe here on YouTube. Just click subscribe right now. If you're watching it on YouTube, just click the subscribe button. It's that easy, that much appreciated, and that way you won't ever miss another video that you don't want to miss. You know, if you want to miss it, you can miss it, and then you don't have to. Also, thank you for your support at patreon.com/yourmoviefriend. People supporting there at $3 a month or more means the world to me. Some fun perks you might want to check out. All right, we will be back with number 20 through number 11, and yes, actually more superhero movies. There's still more to come.